Do you recall the false justifications for the cameras? This time, the incident began backstage, where there shouldn't have been any cameras, and things reportedly got pretty ugly. Could Moses and Yandy get into a heated argument behind the scenes, as the other actors watched in disbelief? This isn't your typical love drama and hip-hop. Whether Yandy was involved in another incident or if she finally received payback for all the drama she had endured is the question that prompted them. Supporters are desperately attempting to put together what really happened. Whether it was another secret issue or if Yandy just learned something that might blow everything up. But one thing is for sure, this era of romance and hip-hop is ending. Think. Again, if you thought that Maisie and Yandy's drama was finally coming to an end in reality TV history, the whole ensemble was taken aback by what transpired backstage at Love and Hip Hop. The possibility of fistfights, secrets, and meltdowns that may alter everything was unanticipated. I assure you that this is not merely a disagreement, but rather a grave conflict between two individuals whose, although there has been tension in the relationship for some time, it has gotten worse than anyone could have predicted. A knife may end the tension because of the floating accusations and the security that was maintained behind the scenes. There are claims that the cast had to step in before things went out of control, and witnesses who rushed in described it as total chaos. Even worse. But hold on, what exactly caused this catastrophe? To put it plainly, some old demons came out at the most inconvenient moment. Yandy had now had enough of Maisie withholding information from him. Explosions occurred when the truth came to light. Let's go back in time a little. Everybody who has been hanging out with these messy-nosed males in DCs has had questionable friendships, so they're not exactly the best examples of loyalty. Late night activities on top of the previously disclosed direct messages. Despite her apparent internal rage and eventual outburst last night, Yandy largely maintained her composure and smiled for the cameras. Sources claim that she was pacing and grumbling to producers since she was already in a certain mood before the Love and Hip Hop taping even started, looking at me as he went by, and the gloves were removed once they were in the same room. Yandy would not have it that way, so I went inside the room acting as though nothing had happened. As the cameras continued to record, she refused to back down and stood squarely in front of him, saying that she was tired of being ridiculed, being lied to, and defending a man Mendeecees initially attempted to brush it off as if she were having hallucinations. But when Yandy brought up that woman, his whole outlook was altered. You can tell it's awful by the way M froze. He started to explain, but it was too late because Yandy had already heated up and was flaunting the receipts and the cast. His face fell expressionless. That woman's identity is still unknown. Was already enjoying some popcorn while watching. One insider claims that Mendeecees first tried to deny everything, saying Yandy was making things up and listening to individuals who were only trying to split them. But Yandy wasn't playing this time. Instead, she pulled out her phone, showed him the texts, timestamps, and other proof, and all of a sudden, he was apprehended. At this point, the backstage space was completely chaotic. With everyone chatting on their phones and mumbling, Mendeecees abruptly lost it as security looked on and considered whether to step in. At this point, he changed the plot and started screaming back at Yandy, blaming her for being the problem because she always behaves perfectly while he is the villain, rather than offering an apology or accepting blame. At this time, everything started to go out of control. He cited earlier instances to bolster his assertions that she isn't. Neither was innocent. But before anyone realized how serious things were, the position was reversed. Security showed up. There, and now everyone is yelling and pushing. The Love and Hip Hop cast is jumping in, and the producers are losing their minds. But it wasn't just any argument. Was the start of reality television. Let's talk about the cast's responses for a bit. Some were ecstatic about Loki, some were merely vying for TV time, and yet others were taken aback by the level of chaos. Rashida's sister was seen shaking her head like someone's auntie at Thanksgiving. Safri was in the back, grinning as if he knew the tea. Erica Mina was seen covering her mouth as if she had just witnessed a murder. And let's not even talk about Carly Red. Sis had her phone out, as you now know, perhaps collecting notes for her next unpleasant incident. Security was eventually able to separate Yandy and Mendeecees due to the pandemonium. But the harm had already been done. The fact that they had to halt work and now have to deal with this PR catastrophe infuriated the producers. But when someone leaked someone unidentified, mystery cast member was heard informing filmmakers that Mendeecees might be living two lives in lead. I see might be living two lives. In addition to cheating, a double life, you heard? The murmuring suggests that this isn't your normal side chick scenario. We don't yet have all the information, but let's assume that if what they say is accurate, MCs, the rumors went viral on social media. Instagram was flooded with memes, Twitter was on fire, and the comment section was in utter disarray. The best response was, "I need an entire Netflix documentary about this kind of drama." Another fan said that Mendeecees is acting like a double agent. And another said Yandy should have left that man we've been warned about. What Mendeecees did and why Yandy hasn't told anyone about it yet are the real questions. The events in part to make people wonder if their relationship was a lie from the start, which exacerbates the situation. Her tone suggests that it's about much more than a few texts. You would think that after Yandy and Mendeecees were separated by security, everything would be settled. It seems that the mysterious cast member I mentioned earlier was telling the truth when they said Mendeecees was cheating and living a second life. Rumors from backstage spread like wildfire, and before you knew it, Yandy had returned to the show. This was completely false because just when everyone thought it was over, a shocking revelation was made that left the entire Love and Hip Hop ensemble in shock. Going a step further, seems that Mendeecees was out here playing house with another woman while acting like family man for the cameras. This is not a casual second relationship. It's a serious one. Yes, Mendeecees has reportedly been in a relationship for months. This time, however, it was a break rather than just anger. The woman, who we'll call Maya, has allegedly been giving clues on social media for weeks, posting enigmatic comments, wearing jewelry Yandy's, and sharing photos from inside a house that resembles EMS's other apartment. Yandy, a perceptive woman, had been beginning to suspect something, but she never have hard proof now because wait a minute. The creators of Hip Hop and Love acknowledged that they knew about this months earlier, and the producers were waiting for the right moment to show it on camera. Reality TV is awful, no matter how dirty it is. So they exploited this information, allowed Yandy to enter the recording completely blind, and waited for the right time to release it. By this point, even the cast was beginning to feel awful because, let's face it, no one should have to learn this way. And Mendeecees, he was so quiet, had nothing. When Yandy found out, she completely collapsed, screaming, shaking, and pushing the cameras away. "You all are disgusting. You all let me look stupid for views," she said to the producers. Sis sat there looking guilty, as if she realized this was going too far, and said, "It's bad when even Carly Red isn't stirring the pot." Maya herself decided to join the chat because she appeared out of the blue just when you thought things couldn't get much worse. In fact, the alleged other woman, Maya, pulled the trigger when security tried to stop her from speaking outside. The studio. Ultimate power move. She called the producers right away. And as you might expect, the phones rang. The producers muttered, and the scene changed to one of being ready to fight when you met her. She got up so quickly that security had to grab her because a fight was about to start. And her sister Maya, the room fell silent, and even Mendeecees, who had been trying to be calm the entire time, appeared to have just seen a ghost when he realized he had known Yandy for the first time. She added, "I'm sorry you had to find out like this, but you deserve to know the truth." She was completely unfrightened and entered the room calm as ever, as if she had been waiting her entire life for this moment, the room gasped when I answered, and Yandy thought she had said since before he went to prison, y'all. Rather than mentioning a few months or maybe a year, she looked Yandy in the face and said, "Since before he went to prison, y'all?" The producers, who had been waiting for this, even turned to look. Her eyes were filled with tears as she asked, the one question that could make all the difference: how long? As I tell Yandy this, she collapses to the ground, gasping for air. Mendeecees kept quiet about that man, which was more than just a betrayal. It was the loss of years of her life. Mendeecees had another girlfriend on the side while he was down visiting Yandy and defending his name because he had been cheating on him long before he was even put in jail. His voice broke as he tried to speak, and before he could finish, Yandy threw her ring at him. And the cameras stopped recording because even the producers realized they had gone too far. And the cast members, including scandal-loving Erica Mina, began to cry as security began shoving them out. The drama was no longer really there. It was just difficult to see. And she said one last thing before leaving that left everyone stunned. "I hope she was worth it because you just lost the best thing you ever had." No one believed her when she left, and the producers were at a loss for what to do next because they didn't even know how to continue. Trust me, things even out in part 3. Darker turn, because you guessed it, Maya wasn't done yet. And what she revealed next will take this story to a whole new level. Yandy just walked out with tears in her eyes, leaving the entire cast sitting there in complete shock. And now that the truth was out, the producers were perspiring because they had officially destroyed one of the room freezes. When I tell you that Maisie wasn't just lying about having another lady, it actually had a child that no one knew about. Since we're being honest, we might as well tell everything. Maya has the biggest romantic and hip-hop connections. And she brings them up again just when you think they're over. Everything changed in a matter of seconds. People were standing up, looking bewildered, and Carly Red was clutching her chest as if she were going to faint. When she returned, Yandy was gone, so Sis quickly spun around and said, "Say that again?" staring straight into Maya's face and using her entire chest to do so. Mendeecees has a child, who is Evan. The cast members were becoming agitated at this point. Rich Dotus appeared to want to leave because everything was so disorganized. Lil Scrappy was pacing the floor. Erica Mina was shaking her head. Kay and Bambi was uttering the words, "This is some crazy asterisk storm." Security had to step in because Yandy was about to faint and was ready to swing, when Maya eventually pulled out the receipts. She immediately went to the photos on her phone. Yandy was shocked when she abruptly showed him a picture of a newborn, who had a striking resemblance to Mendeecees. The most ridiculous thing was that Mendeecees remained silent and just stood there rubbing his face, as though he was about to faint from the knowledge that he had been discovered. She said, "I gave this man my whole life, and this is what he does, a whole child behind my back." He opened his mouth to say something, but Yandy abruptly interrupted him. When someone says, "Listen, it's not what you think, but I think you have a whole child. How do you hide a baby?" Men begin to cry. This man had been standing there trying to seem composed, but now he was losing it and fleeing. Yandy's fear increased. As he put his hands over his face, took a long breath, and said, "I'm scared, baby. You weren't afraid when you were lying to me, making me look foolish on national TV or anything else. But now you're afraid." Security had to hold Yandy again because she was about to throw hands with me. The cameras had captured it all. The truth was out. His life was falling apart, and he had nothing to say. Yandy Sis finished, turned to Maya and said, "Keep him. It's yours now." She removed her microphone, threw it to the ground, and started to walk away. He tried to follow her out, but security stopped him because there was nothing else to do. The producers got exactly what they wanted when Yandy left. The sudden breakdown of the biggest relationship in hip-hop and love history. They began rolling credits for the Fade to Black season. My friends, DCs, lost everything in a single night, from side girlfriends to hidden kids. From infidelity accusations to devoted covert relationships, and one man did it all. Sister Yandy left, with her dignity, freedom, and peace of mind because, let's face it, she deserved so much more. Messes, whoa, I hope he likes being single because after this, he will lose all credibility. But believe me, when I warn that the aftermath will be more unexpected and severe since this isn't over yet. That's it, everybody. Complete chaos. The cast is taking sides. Social media is burning. Everyone is responding. And you already know that the producers are planning something even stranger for the next season. So don't worry, this drama is far from over. Everything was altered by the bombshell you just dropped. Who did Yandy fail to recognize the truth all along, in your opinion? Please leave a comment below with your thoughts on this situation. If you enjoy this type of tea, click like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.